welcome you back. The finale of the 2015 OPA Championships is underway. Englewood Beach, Florida. Brendan Matthews, Shane Sherman, ABC7 meteorologist Bob Harrigan with you.
Yeah.
And that sound, guys, means it is underway.
It's on. Yes, absolutely on right now.
And guys, I got to tell you, they dropped the green flag for Class 2 right here in front of our broadcast booth, and I don't know what they were doing in the Chris Gone Wilder boat and the Strictly Business boat, but Second Amendment caught them sleeping, and they pulled a whole shot on these guys like no tomorrow.
That was
and
classic.
Jumped a couple boats on them. So great job to Neil Wooby and Carl Steger in the Second Amendment boat for the whole shot on the start there. So as you can see them making their way, should be making their way into turn 1 about right now.
Yep, they are.
And Cat Can Do making his way out of turn 2. He's your leader right now in Superboat class, in Unlimited class, I'm sorry. And then you got the Bat boat trailing him. And then coming up behind that are your P2 boats, Second Amendment, Strictly Business, and Chris Gone Wilder. And be interested to see how they shape up as they make their way through turns 1 and 2 with that excellent hole shot that the Second Amendment guys got.
We got a great camera shot, too, of them coming across and moving out of turn 2. And they are moving a little bit on those waves. They're bouncing a little higher. The waves look to be up to 2 to 3 footers at times, I think, as far as that goes.
They are getting some real air time coming out of turn 2. And wow, look at Strictly Business. He is really catching some air. Second Amendment has opened up a great lead. I mean, they just dominated that start, and they are running well out in front of their other two guys in their class right now. And really a great job on the start for those guys. And you can see it kicking up back there. I mean, Cat Can Do is running real conservative. He's got the trim tucked in real good, but it's not smooth out there by any means.
No.
I mean, you can hear a little bit of the wind in the background on our microphones, and you know, he's tucked in, but he's still catching some air out there. You know, unfortunately for Geico, they were not able to make the start, so Cat Can Do running unopposed in the Unlimited class, and he's not having to push it real hard, but he's catching some air out there, and he is putting on a show for the crowd in the Bat boat. Elliot Gray coming up right in behind him, and I believe Jay Mueller is his throttle man in there. And here comes Second Amendment coming into our sight, and they are catching some serious air. And
right
make no mistake about it, these guys are racing for a world championship, and they are running with competition that is right on their tail. Strictly Business about 6 feet in the air as they came by mid-course, trying to catch up to the Second Amendment mode, and we are going to be in for some good action because, as we mentioned earlier, the breakout in these classes is all dictated by speed, and the two places these guys can make up on that is rough water and the turns, and we got both of those things right now. We got rough water and we got turns. The Second Amendment makes his way out of turn number 4, coming back down the front stretch to complete lap 1, and Strictly Business making their way through the turn right now. As it stands right now, Second Amendment with a real nice lead. I'm going to say they've got a good 8 or 9 seconds on their second place boat. But as we're watching on the backstretch, coming into turn 3 right now, Mr. Technology, Will Smith, and Sarah's Racing making their way into turn 3. They are neck and neck, side by side. Mr. Technology on the inside, Sarah's Racing on the outside, and they're making their ways turn 3 and 4, and it is not smooth out there, guys. These boats are moving around a lot. Mr. Technology on the inside, Sarah's Racing going for a wild ride on the outside, trying to get around these guys, carrying a lot of speed out of the turn. They were able to get around him on that turn, and they're making their way in front of our broadcast booth right now. So it looks like the 441 boat of Sarah's Racing just about a half a second out in front of Mr. Technology as they make their way back down to the start-finish.
Yeah, great start. Obviously, the Cat Can Do running unopposed in Extreme, Bat Boat running unopposed in Class 2, but we have got some battles, and again, a real tight battle. Looks like it's shaping up in Class number 4, and we're just one lap in to this final race of the day, part of the 2015 OPA World Championships.
How exciting is this? All the fans on the beach are all standing up now with their cameras all pointed at these boats going by. The Bat boat is just incredible looking, and just to see that racing down these waters, amazing.
Oh yeah, the cameras are on the action in front of us, and the action in front of us is second to none. And they're making their way through turns 1 and 2 right now, and definitely see Cat Can Do, as we mentioned, running unopposed, running a conservative race, but they're not holding it back. They're probably running an honest 120 miles an hour out there, and like we mentioned earlier, the swell has kicked up. The wind is chopped up a little bit. It's not as flat as it was this morning, and so they're bouncing around a little bit out there. Full air shot, completely cleared the boat out of the water there. So not smooth by any means. Another good jump by Cat Can Do. The Bat boat making his way up, and it looks like Second Amendment is is capitalizing on their lead and the clean water they've got. So
Cat Can Do right now, you're telling me, running unopposed in the extreme class. Is that correct, Catman?
Yes,
Cat
correct.
Can Do also won on Friday as the Miss Geico boat just had some engine problems. We heard earlier. Kind of lost in the last lap, and then they won it on the final lap on Friday. So
yeah, certainly a tough deal for Miss Geico, the 8-time world champion, one of our great sponsors, and somebody that a race team that does so much for charity. And we certainly wish we could see him out there right now. And I know they wish they could be out there right now. But here it comes, Cat Can Do, wrapping up their second lap, heading towards the start finish, and putting on a great show for these fans. And again, you heard Shane mention it, maybe running a little more conservatively than they would if they had somebody going up with them deck to deck, but they'll certainly put on a show for these fans. And they're 2 laps in. We'll now turn our attention as we head back towards turns number 3 and 4. We see the bat boat come around turn 4.
he came around a little bit loose too, I'll tell you that.
Watching out on the backstretch right now, Strictly Business making its way up, and Chris Gone Wilder, and they are catching some serious air on that backstretch. The conditions are definitely bumping up a little bit as we see Saris Racing and Mr. Technology in Class 4 making their way to our vantage point now. And Saris Racing looks like they got about a 1-second lead over Mr. Technology as they make their way up to turn 3. And we're watching Strictly Business coming out of turn 4 right now, and Second Amendment just went by in front of us. Looks like they're expanding on their lead a little bit as well. They got a good, honest 12-second lead now on second place of Strictly Business, and bringing up third place is Chris Gone Wilder. And real slow coming out of turn 4. I don't know if they're having some issues in the boat or what. Now they're picking it back up a little bit. So Chris Gone Wilder picking it back up, third position in Class 2. Saris Racing coming down in front of our vantage point now, first position in Class 4.
And Shane, the Chris Gone Wilder team, having won on Friday, they don't have to win this race, I wouldn't think, to still have a claim at a world championship, but they may really need to try to find their way into second place to make that a done deal. That's going to be very interesting to watch. And again, we won't have that OPA certification for you during our broadcast time, but it's going to be very interesting to watch them. They may not be able to win this race if Second Amendment holds serve right now, but again, monitoring the points at the end of the day could be very interesting.
Absolutely. The way it's stacking up right now, as they're running on the course, if the race was to end right now, I think we'd see Second Amendment as your world champion, and Strictly Business in second, and Chris Gone Wilder in third. But there's a lot of racing left to go, and as we've talked earlier, attrition, and another thing, navigation. If you miss a turn, or as you're diving into that turn, if you get inside of a turn buoy, you're going to get penalized for that, and that's going to send you to the back. I mean, they penalize by time in OPA, and so they take your finishing time, deduct your penalty off that, and that's where you stack up at.
It's not easy, I imagine, Shane, being out there going that fast, making sure you got to get around that buoy. I saw some B-roll, some video of some boat races recently where they hit the buoy.
Oh,
that
absolutely.
Can't happen.
Absolutely. One of our veteran racers from back home at Lake of the Ozarks, Slug Hefner, I think holds the offshore record for the most taken out buoys in an offshore race. And, you'll be coming into that turn and you'll be setting up and everything looks perfect, and all of a sudden a wave will smack the front of that boat and knock you off your course by 10 feet, and you're wearing the buoy. So, it's not easy by any means.
Here comes Cat Can Do, a quarter of the way done with this race. Heading towards start finish right now in front of our perch, high above the wannabe inn.
As we're watching in our vantage point, we're seeing the bat boat come in and Second Amendment come in. They are opening up a commanding lead over Strictly Business. But what those guys got to be careful of is not breaking out.
Exactly.
So, they've got a comfortable margin right now, and it's their race to win. Now, one thing to keep in mind, guys, Second Amendment did not finish the race on Friday.
Right.
So, but another boat broke out, and another boat had an issue, so they were awarded points better than what a DNF would be. But if they break out here, it'll eliminate their chances for a world championship.
No question about it.
The way it's running right now, they look like world champion racers right now coming in front of us, and they got that boat dialed in perfectly. And, they had an incredible start. I mean, just could not have had a better start.
That is a good-looking boat right there, moving on through Second Amendment. Looking good.
It is, and and that boat is no stranger to offshore racing. That boat has been a race boat since the day it was built new. back, I believe, late 90s. It ran under the Zip Express banner. Multiple-time world and national champion. I think around a dozen world and national championships for that boat. And just a great boat. Built just right up the street here in Clearwater at Pellini Spectrum Marine. And the boat just goes out, and it is a battle horse. I mean, it just goes out there and does what it's supposed to do.
That's something to be said about that boat right there. All those championships. It's a heck of a boat tonight, or today, right here.
All right, coming by us here, high atop our perch. That's the Chris Gone Wilder team. They won on Friday. They got work to do right now. Behind him in Class 4, that's the Ceres Racing team. They've opened up a lead. Not as big as our other contenders. Mr. Technology hanging in there and in somewhat close pursuit, anywhere between 5 and 7 seconds behind the Ceres team right now.
And you may wonder, this is a 4.5-mile race course. Is that right? 4.5 miles. That's a long chug as you're going down that beach right there. A lot of folks checking it out here on Englewood Beach here in Minnesota Key, and it is a beautiful afternoon. I don't know where you are, but right here, it is absolutely outstanding.
Yeah, absolutely.
Should be here.
And I think as this race is going on, the water is even bumping up more. I'm seeing Cat Can Do catch some pretty significant air underneath that 46-footer 2 or 3 times as they make their way up the backstretch. And like we mentioned earlier, they're not pushing it hard. Nope. So for them to be catching air out there right now, you know, that just gives you an indication of how the water is bumping up. They're probably only running, I say only, 120 miles per hour, and they're still catching a little bit of air coming up that backstretch. And as they make their way around, come down the front stretch in front of us here, and you know they have a world championship wrapped up. They're out here right now doing this for the fans, and they're having a great time in there. They're happy as can be. I'm sure the disappointment of their DNF and their Super Cat has went out of their minds already.
Oh yeah, that's right.
They're taking home a world championship.
I forgot about it. They're the ones that had that problem
in
with Super
Cleveland
Cat.
Construction, right? And we watched Second Amendment come back into our vantage point here from the broadcast booth, and just a commanding lead out in front of second place of Strictly Business. And really right now they only have 2 things that can go wrong for them: a breakout or a breakdown.
Well,
so
we just got told, and I haven't seen it yet.
What is that?
Hold on, I'm gonna before I say that, I'm gonna get a look here.
that's Second Amendment coming into turn 3 right now.
Yeah, that's we were getting conflicting reports that they were down, but that's Second Amendment coming around turn 3 right now, and they appear to be just fine.
Yeah, I don't see any boats down on the course right now from where we're at. I've got Second Amendment, Strictly Business, and Chris Gone Wilder, and here comes Class 4, Bat Boat, Cat Can Do. Looks like they're all out there running right now.
Yes. We will continue our final race of the day, the 2015 OPA World Championships, on the other side of this break.